Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 102nd Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of RTW player Scorpion King, or SR as you know him here. As you can see, he's called himself Zion here, but that is Scorpion King SR, and he's bought the Egypt faction. Then we have RTW clan member OTD Pen G4P, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. Then we have a Brotherhood member Mystique, who has also bought the Rome Scipio faction. And myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Carthage faction. So that's our team there. I know that Scorpion King and myself have been playing Rome Total War since it first came out, but I also know that Pen and Mystique have been playing RTW for many years now. So I think you could quite honestly say our team is very experienced, but you wait till you see the other team, highly experienced there as well. I thought at this stage of the battle we'll pop back up and see Scorpion King's Egypt army here. As I'm sure you would agree, to bring desert troops to a winter battlefield is very unusual. Obviously desert troops in desert gets a bonus for fighting in desert, but actually fighting in winter conditions in snow, you could almost think it's like an anti-bonus against desert troops. And here you see he's got his Pharaoh pikeman there with good upgrades on, and he's got his Pharaoh bowman there. Now the Pharaoh bowmen are some of the best archers in the game, and I see he's got 9 units of the Pharaoh bowmen there. That's a lot of archers to bring to the battlefield, so it'll be interesting to see how well they do. Then of course he's got the Egyptian chariots here. These chariots are very good and they don't run amok. So if they panic, they won't start killing their own team. They just actually leave the battlefield as any other routed unit would. But they're quite good. And last but by no means least, I see that he's bought a unit of desert cavalry. Now these desert cavalry guys are light cavalry, so they move fast. But if you see their axes, they're actually effective against armor cavalry. So they're very fast and they can be very effective on the battlefield. So I think that's Scorpion King showing his experience there of that type of army that he's bought. Should be interesting to watch. And here is the other team. We have Titans clan member Hades, who has bought the Greek cities faction. We have experienced Wolves clan member Galacia, who has bought the Rome Julio faction. We have Greeks KLEOMENES, who has bought the Macedon faction. And we have Heavens member ELITA, who has bought the Rome SPQR faction. So there's the other team there, full of really great players and experienced players too. As you can see, I think it should be a great battle to watch just looking at the two teams alone. Hope you enjoy it. At this stage of the battle you can see there's a big archer battle going on between the two teams. If you notice here, the enemy Julio cavalry have been sent out to attack some of our archers there in probably what would be like kind of a lightning strike. Out, hit the archers and pull the cavalry back as soon as possible to avoid any casualties with the cavalry there. Over on our right flank here you can see that Scorpion King's making the most of the chariot speed advantage there. Chariots move as fast as light cavalry, and if he can chase those archers, enemy archer units away and kill them, that'd be a nice little move by him. As you saw, he bought 9 archer units, so you can see now that the enemy have bought a lot of archers too, so maybe bringing those 9 Pharaoh bowman units might have been a good idea there. Here's a general overall view of the battlefield there as we kind of square up to each other. If you notice, GALACIA has put his infantry into a testudo, probably for protection against the archer, the amount of archer fire that's coming in on their team there. At the moment there seems to be a lot of cavalry hits here and there trying to kill archer units. As you can see, that Julii cavalry there came out to try killing our units there, but Scorpion King got some chariots over there to defuse that a little bit. Here is once again an overall panoramic view of what's happening on the battlefield at the moment. I've got a feeling there's going to be so much happening on from one flank to the other on this battle, it's going to be difficult to catch it all for you. If you notice that the enemy Greek cities are moving over to our left flank, and if you notice that my Carthage army had been kind of shadowing the Greek cities army, this Carthage army of mine I've built specifically to kind of fight Spartans and the Greek cities faction there. So right from the beginning of the battle, I said to my teammates that I would shadow Greek cities with a view to fight with the Spartans and the Greek cities factions there. My guess is that the Greek cities general brought his Spartans over in a lightning attack there, hopefully trying to hit my Scipii ally there. But if you notice, I moved my Carthage army just as fast there, so it looks like there's going to be quite a big confrontation here on our left flank. There's a lot of enemy cavalry coming over to our left flank as well at this time, if you notice in the background there. And the Greek cities have moved even more out to our left. If you notice that the enemy SPQR Roman infantry is getting in behind the Greek cities ally there, their Greek cities ally. And my guess is that they would have a view to try and pilot my Carthage army as much as they could there. Meanwhile, over on our right flank, you can see Scorpion King is using his chariots to attack the rear of the enemy Julii infantry as they move over to the from that side over to the other side. And of course, showing the rear of your units to the enemy is not really a very good idea on this game, especially with chariots smashing into you. Wouldn't surprise me if Scort routed a couple of those Julii infantry there with the chariots hits. If you notice, he's taken his pike units, his Pharaoh pike units over there as well. So that was a nice aggressive move there by Scorpion King with his Egypt army there. Here you can see, back over on our left, the Greek cities are now attacking my Carthage army, backed up by their SPQR allies there. There'll probably be a lot of pilots going into my units there from those SPQR infantry. If you notice, my ally Mystique has moved her infantry out to my left flank there, realising that pike units' weaknesses are their flanks and their rear. Using all of her experience there, she's moved infantry out there to protect my flanks, allowing me to fight the Greek cities and the SPQR infantry without worrying about my flanks being hit there. Nice showing of experience there by Mystique. Meanwhile, over on our right, you can see that Scorpion King's doing really well with Egypt. As I said before, bearing in mind this is a winter map and he's got desert troops fighting in the snow. He's not doing too bad. Backed up with our ally Penn there, with his Scipii cavalry and infantry there. Nice little partnership there on the right flank there. And also Penn is also fighting the Macedons in our centre there. As you can see over on our left flank there, the Greek cities and my Carthage army are fully engaged now. And as you can see, the enemy SPQR infantry are pulling in behind the enemy Greek cities there to back them up. Now, as you see, Mystique's pulled her infantry over to our left, but there's a gap between her infantry and the rear of my troops, and the Macedon cavalry are charging there. Nice little move there by Macedon. I just hope I can turn my pike units before that cavalry hits, or there could be mass routes here. And bang! As that cavalry goes in. But if you notice, I just managed to turn a couple of my rear pike units to face that cavalry there. But nonetheless, that cavalry hit would have probably done a lot of damage to my some of the rear of some of my pikemen there. You notice I've got Allied cavalry coming in now to sandwich that Macedon cavalry and kill as many as we can there. I would think that a heck of a lot of the Macedon cavalry were absolutely wiped out there. Once again, here's an overall picture of the battle here. You can see there's some Greek cities units attacking my Scipiot allies there. Over on the right flank there's still a lot of Julii infantry left there fighting Scorpion King's Egyptian troops. Just going to pause the game here just for us to take stock of the situation. As you can see here on our right, the enemy Julii infantry is still got quite a few units there, backed up by enemy Macedon units as well. We've got Egyptian Scorpion King's Egyptian units there, and Penn's Scipio units there as well, fighting for us against there on the right. As you move up into the centre, you can see there's Macedon units and Greek city units there fighting our Scipio ally, as you can see there. So what our Scipio ally is trying to do is just to hold those units at the moment to maybe give me time to be able to come over with my my Sacred Band pikemen there. As you can see, I'm moving some pike units over there to the right now. As you can see, I'm facing mostly SBQR infantry now, and there's a few Greek city units left in amongst that as well there. Over on our left, you can see Mystique is doing an incredibly good job. Can you see how she's put a line of infantry there to stop that Macedon cavalry coming in behind? Plus, she got her main infantry here on the left now protecting our flank from all that enemy cavalry out there. And also, we've still got a lot of missile troops left here as well. Mostly SR's Scorpion King's archers there, who are firing all the time into the enemy ranks. Let's see what happens next. You can see there the enemy Julii general's just been killed there. So as you've seen in other battle videos of mine, you know that the morale of their troops will start to drop now that their general's been killed. And that was a nice little hit in the rear there by our allies' Scipio cavalry there. Caused a lot of enemy infantry to rout there. If you notice, a lot of the Julii infantry are starting to rout at this time on our right flank. Meanwhile, over in our centre, you can see that the Greek cities are still fighting our Scipio ally there, and my Carthage Sacred Band, I've moved a couple of units over to try and help in the centre, but I'm still facing a lot of SBQR and Greek city units there. As you can see, the Macedon cavalry here are charging him. The other half of the, I think 3 of them were lost earlier, but I still think there's about 2 or 3 left of Macedon cavalry left there. You just noticed there, our enemy Scipio cavalry, our allied Scipio cavalry has just charged into the rear of some SBQR infantry that were facing my my pikemen and routed a few units there. Nice little move there. Right, at this stage of battle, can you see that I'm moving a lot of my Sacred Band over, because I can see the rear of these Greek cities units engaging with my allies. So what I'm going to do now is just attack the rear of those Greek cities units. If you notice, the Greek city generals made a wise move and pulled his general out of that, because if you notice now, those Greek city units that are left are like caught in a vice between my ally Scipii infantry and my pikemen closing in. And it wouldn't surprise me if pretty soon those Greek city units started to rout. As I say, as the vice closes in, you can see that my units gradually closing in on them. So that should rout those Greek city units pretty soon there. As you can see here in the centre, we've got Macedon units attacking a couple of units of mine there. And all over the battlefield you can see there's loads and loads of stuff going on at the moment, with attacks and counter-attacks. It's very difficult to try and get all the filming in for you so you can see what's actually happening in this battle. You see there's still quite a lot of SBQR infantry left there. And still a few of the Greek cities units left there. You can see the Macedon general, I think, has just been killed. You can see the Macedon general there is actually also in a vice there, if you like, between between our units there, and has just been killed. That was the Egypt units and my Carthage units there sandwiched that Macedon general unit there. I'm just going to pause the game here for a second for us to take stock of the situation. As you can see, there's still lots of enemy units left, and especially I can see there's still a lot of enemy SBQR cavalry left that are roaming the battlefield, and they could be very dangerous. And I think they have definitely got cavalry advantage at this stage of the battle. There's still, as I say, still got lots of SBQR units left. There's still a couple of Greek city Spartan units left as well. So it should be interesting to see what happens next. As I said, the enemy SBQR cavalry there, Roman SBQR cavalry, is kind of roaming the battlefield, hitting where they want at will. If you notice, they're charging in now, charging at SBQR, trying to hit what they thought was the rear of my Carthage units, but I managed to turn my pike units to face that oncoming cavalry.
By the gods, your foolish general has got himself killed!
And the SBQR general wisely pulls his cavalry back there. As I'm sure that most of you know, newer players watching this, you never charge your cavalry into pike units that are coming at you or standing with their pikes down, because all that will happen is you'll lose most of your cavalry and you probably won't gain hardly anything. You notice Mystique's chasing that SBQR cavalry with her infantry there now. Some really great teamwork going on here, I've noticed, all over the battlefield. You noticed Scorpion King still got some Egyptian units left here. I bet a lot of you may be watching this at the beginning were thinking, raising a few eyebrows, thinking, fancy bringing a desert army to a winter battlefield. But I think he's done quite well with those Egyptian units, and it wouldn't surprise me if he got some pretty good kills as well at the end. Let's say the battle's still pretty intense there. There's an enemy SBQR cavalry charging in again, but once again I've turned my pikemen to face them before they manage to hit. So you can see one or two of their cavalry units start to rout there, unless they hurry up and pull back. You can see Mystique closing in with Scipio troops here in behind the enemy.
General has been killed.
And there goes the enemy SBQR general has just been killed there. And if you notice, there's Scorpion King's light cavalry going to do a hit. Might be enough to rout some of those SBQR units. Yep. And that light cavalry hit there routed 2 or 3 of the battle damaged SBQR units that were left there. Nice little hit there by that desert cavalry. As you can see now, there's not a lot of enemy units left. I think it's just the Greek city's general that's left now. And my guess is, with all that enemy around it, it probably would rout quite soon. Yeah, and there you go. It's the Greek city general just died there. So just like to say, if you look at the dead on the battlefield, you can see how intense the fighting was. Just like to say, really well played to everybody in the game, really well played to the enemy team. I thought there were some great moves there, and some great attacking moves as well. Really well played to them, and really well played to the team I was in too. If you notice that Scorpion King's Egypt army, even though I bet it raised a few eyebrows when it was first seen on the winter battlefield, managed to get the second highest kills on the battlefield. So that's not bad for an Egyptian army on a winter battlefield. So well done to him. And as you can see, Penn got some great kills as well there with his Scipii army. So like I say, really great teamwork by my team there. There was lots of covering and support all over the battlefield. And as I said, really well done to the other team as well. I think they showed their experience and skill, and this was a great battle to be in. And I hope the viewers watching this really enjoyed this. It was full of skill and really great tactical move. This is Spartan Commander saying bye for now.